Reggie, are you ready? Okay. All right, folks. I put on your tables copies of the Child Youth Protection Policy. If this is your first time going through training with me, I would invite you to take that home and please read it carefully because I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights. If you've done this training with me before, this policy has not changed. So that it's all the same as what we did last year and the year before. All right. I realize I forgot to bring my paper to have you sign in. So maybe after I get done with this, I will bring a paper and have you guys sign up. That just helps me know who I need to send the video to later. All right, for the purposes of our children's programs, when we talk about needing to have adults, adults are 21 and over. For the purposes of background checks, that's 18 and over. So anyone 18 or older has to do a background check, but they don't count as an adult for counting purposes when we say we have to have 2 adults. And of course, all adults have to have a background check completed. It renews every 3 years. I think everyone in this room is up to date at this point, so you're all good. All right, children must be supervised by 2 adults from different households. So that means like Tammy and Bob live in the same house, they don't count, they count as 1 adult, they don't count as 2. But if you have family members that don't live in your house, they would still count as a second adult. When we take bathroom breaks, take at least 2 children with you. We don't ever want to have 1 adult and 1 child. That protects you from any type of allegations as much as it protects the children. So take at least 2 children with you. 1 adult can take them and wait in the hallway while they use the restroom, while the other adult stays with the rest of the group. All right, this is the sad and depressing and ugly part of what we do, but we have to talk about it. If you suspect or are made aware of the fact that a child has experienced any type of abuse or neglect, we are required to report it immediately to Neil as the head of staff and to the child's parents unless you feel that that is going to put the child in danger. So if you feel that it's the parents that are causing the harm to the child, don't tell the parents. But if you feel someone else is causing, then the parents need to be notified. And you may be asked to be involved in reporting to authorities if that is the case. If a volunteer or a staff member of our church is involved in alleged abuse or neglect of a child, the same thing, notify Neil immediately. Then the parents will be notified. The alleged perpetrator will be put on leave and must stay away from the premises and the victims and witnesses during an investigation. All allegations will be reported to the authorities, and anyone who is found not innocent after the investigation will be removed from their position with children and youth. All right, so that is the sad part of working with kids, that sometimes these things happen to our kids, and we're here to protect them. All right, if you are in a room with doors, the doors need to be open unless there's a window in the door. You can close it then. But if it's one of our solid doors, the door has to remain open at all times. For drop-off and pickup, children must be accompanied into the building by an adult who will check them in at the check-in station. And children will only be released to a parent, guardian, or another adult that is designated by the parents who is 18 and over. Now, we do have, occasionally we have a situation where we have a teenage sibling that is of driving age, bringing a younger child, and we do that on a case-by-case basis. The parents have to put it in writing, yes, my 16-year-old, my 17-year-old has permission to pick up my child, but we only do that within families. You can't say like the next door neighbor who is 17 can pick up your child. That doesn't count. So only siblings within a family, and only if the parents have signed off on that. A photo ID is required for any adult who is not known to the volunteers. We have a lot of visitors for VBS, people we've never met before. They can come up and say that I am Joe Bob, and you don't know that. So we have to check their ID and say yes, and then check the people who are doing sign in, sign out will have a list of who is authorized to pick up and say, yes, you can pick them up, or hang on, let me contact the parent because you're not on my list, just to check on that. and children must be checked out at the checkout station at pickup time. Youth volunteers who are non-drivers, we do have an emergency contact info for each of them, and they may check themselves in when they arrive, but they need an adult to check them out at the end. And then youth volunteers who do drive, they may check themselves in and out each night, but they do still need to check in and out. So we want to keep track of our youth as well as our children. All right. If we have any children who are sick, they must be separated from the rest of the group. So if somebody gets sick, they throw up or something, you're going to contact me and I'm going to come get them. And then we'll call their parents and say, hey, please come pick them up. And that's for anything: fever, vomiting, diarrhea, eye and skin infections, green or yellow runny noses, other symptoms of communicable disease. We want to stop the spread of that as much as possible. So yes, that's that. If they get injured, we will provide appropriate first aid, but not medications. We can do cleaning, we can do ice packs, that type of thing, soap and water, and then we'll notify the parents to pick up. We can put Band-Aids on that happen. If there's a major injury, notify me immediately. We'll call parents, and then if necessary, we'll contact the 911 for an ambulance to come. So be sure you're keeping watch on them so that we can reduce injuries as much as possible. When it comes to photos and social media, parents have the opportunity to sign a photo release when they're registering. Not all of our children have permission to have their photos taken. If you are a group leader, you'll get a list and it'll say which children are not allowed to be photographed. So just try to keep them, if you see people taking pictures, kind of keep those kids out of the way. And I would ask that you do not post any photos of VBS directly to your own social media. You may share them with me, and then the church staff will decide what is appropriate to be shared on the church's social media. Do you have any questions about anything safety-wise, or maybe anything that you see in the policy that I did not go over? Anybody have anything? All right. For our schedule for the evening, yes. Yes. Because one time, a couple of years ago, we lost a child, and it came down here, and they had checked him out, but we didn't know that we'd been checked out. That may be in the group leader's instructions, but yes, we do ask that as you're traveling from place to place, you count them before you leave. You count them when you get to the next destination. Make sure you've got the same kids that you started with, you end up with. But I think that's in the specific group leader instructions. All right, I do have a schedule. I don't have copies of this for you yet, but you will receive copies of your schedule when you get all of your VBS information the week of. I do have information for you today, but I don't think I put schedules in them. But you will definitely have those before we start. So every evening, 5:30 to 6 o'clock, you are invited to come in and set up your space. If you are checking in or you are a group leader, that starts at 5:45. So we need to have people here ready to accept the children at 5:45. Then we have dinner and bathroom breaks from 6 to 6:30. As the kids are finishing up, please encourage them to go to the bathrooms. And then 6:30 to 6:50, we'll have our opening program. That's going to include music. It's got skits. It's got a Bible story video, and whatever the lessons are for the day that we'll go over each day. And then from 6:50 to 8:20, we'll rotate through stations. We have crafts, science, reflections, and games. And I believe the stations are about 20 minutes per station. And then we come back down here at 8:20 for our closing program, and then check it out to go home. So we should be done by 8:30 or so. We do have decorating and setting up everything we'll be doing on Saturday, July 11th at 10 a.m. So anyone that would like to come and help with that, I would appreciate all the hands I could get so that we don't have to be here all day long. All right, I'm going to go over your volunteer assignments, and then we'll take some time when you're done eating to break into our groups, and I have individual group information for you. So Nancy has graciously agreed to lead dinners. So if you are helping Nancy, all of your information from here forth will come from her. So our small group leaders for preschool, we have Rebecca Malden. Melissa Robinson will be here Sunday through Tuesday. Priscilla Giuliano will be here on Wednesday. And then Madeline Kaiser is one of our youth. She'll be helping you on Monday and Wednesday. Kindergarten and first grade, I have Barbara Whaley and Megan Witt will be our group leaders. Second and third grade, and neither of them are here, but Amanda Linker and Ashley Carricker will be doing that group. And then fourth and fifth grade will be Scott Jones and Bob Rimsberg. For check-in and check-out, we have Julie Alexander, Juliana Lovingood, and Janet Little. I don't have anyone that has volunteered to help with running videos and PowerPoints. So I may be grabbing people each night and say, hey, can you come help me with this? We have choreography leaders this year. That's something new. I have Ariana Murray, Kenley Robinson, Madeline Kaiser, and Madison Long who have agreed to do that. For crafts, I have Barb Sieverts, Darlene Doyle, and then Kenley Robinson as a youth helper and Ariana Murray as a youth helper. For science, I have Tammy Rimsberg and Elaine Tankersley, and then you'll have Mackenzie Hansen as a youth helper. Reflections, which is kind of like discussing questions about the Bible story and the lessons. That's Stephanie Campbell and Ashley Nguyen, and you'll have Madison Long as a youth helper. And then for games, we'll have Rex Carricker and Amber Long, and then Jamari Williams will be a youth helper. And I do have 2 more youth that signed up just in the last couple of days, so I will be finding places for them to help out as well. I don't have them set up yet. For water play, Rex Carricker is going to lead that. I need another adult who would be willing to help with monitoring and safety with water play. So if you will think about that for Thursday night, we don't have any other stations going on. That's our cookout and water play night. So if anyone would be willing to help with water play, I would appreciate that. Does anybody have a question about what they are doing for VBS? All right, well that ends our training portion, so you can finish up eating, and I'll get with your groups and then I'll bring you some packets about information about what your group will be doing. Thank you.